What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be previewing Joe Gibbs Racing as we head into the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first driver we're going to talk about from Joe Gibbs Racing is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin once going to be back in the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024, as in the late portion of 2023, Denny Hamlin signed a multi-year contract extension with Joe Gibbs Racing. Now, Denny Hamlin in 2023 had a really strong season, scoring 3 victories. Unfortunately, though, for Denny Hamlin, he was not able to make it to the Championship 4. And of course, this will be Denny Hamlin's, I think, 18th full NASCAR Cup Series season. He has still not won that coveted NASCAR Cup Series championship, though he is now the winningest driver in NASCAR Cup Series history to not win a championship up to this point. And then Denny Hamlin, once again, will have Chris Gabehart as a crew chief. Chris Gabehart's been a big reason why Denny Hamlin's had a career resurgence over the last 4 or 5 seasons. I think the goal for Denny Hamlin going into the 2024 season is to win a couple races and finally get that first championship. And I think Denny Hamlin is running out of time. At the end of 2024, Denny Hamlin will be 44 years old, and I think Denny Hamlin only has a few years left in his NASCAR Cup Series career before he retires. Anytime now, Denny Hamlin could fall off in performance and not do great. Now, I think Denny Hamlin is, though, going to be a championship contender and a threat. I think he's going to get a couple victories in the 2024 season, and I think he will get an opportunity, a chance to contend for the title of this upcoming season in 2024, I should say. I think it's going to be a pretty good year for the number 11 team. I think that this team's looking to win. They've got a new nose coming on to Toyota Camrys for 2024, and I think this is going to be a big benefactor to really helping them out going into 2024. I'm excited to see what Denny Hamlin can do. Like I said, I think he's going to be a championship threat and contender, and I do expect this overall to be a pretty solid and pretty good year, and I think Denny, for sure, will be a championship contender and a championship threat in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. The second driver that we'll talk about from Joe Gibbs Racing going to 2024 is Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell once going to be back in the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. Now, Christopher Bell had a really strong year in 2023, scoring 3 victories. And unlike Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell is actually able to make it to the Championship 4. Unfortunately, he crashed about halfway through the race after a brake rotor failure. But he had one of the fastest cars in that race, and he almost could have won that championship with the speed and pace that he showed. Now, once again, in the 2024 season, Adam Stevens is going to be the crew chief for Christopher Bell once again. And Adam Stevens has been a big part in helping Christopher Bell grow and develop as a driver over the course of the last 3 seasons. Now, ultimately, Christopher Bell is someone who's really becoming one of the more underrated drivers in our sport today, and I think he could become the face of the sport in the coming few years. Of how good of a driver Christopher Bell truly is out on the track, I think this could be another very, very good year. Now, what are the goals for Christopher Bell going into 2024? Well, I think one of the goals for Christopher Bell is to try to get a few victories like he's had the last couple of years. In 2022, I believe he scored 3 victories. In 2021, he only scored 1. And then 2023, he only scored 2. So he's looking to get more and more victories, at least get 2 to 3 wins. And I think the goal is to not only make the Championship 4 in 2024, but also pick up his first NASCAR Cup Series title. He's won a Truck Series title. He's not able to win the Xfinity title. I think long-term he'll go back to Xfinity and try to win that title in the next few years. But I do believe that Christopher Bell has a really good chance and opportunity to win this championship and title. He may struggle at the beginning of the year, but he might also be consistent. Remember, at the start of 2023, he was extremely consistent, and that consistency could be a really key factor and a massive, massive role in helping him out going into 2024. So like I said, I think the goal for Christopher Bell is going to be for him to try to win his first NASCAR Cup Series title in 2024. He's made the championship 4 the last 2 years. I think he's got a really good chance and opportunity to go to his 3rd championship 4, and maybe, just maybe, Christopher Bell at the end of the upcoming season will be your NASCAR Cup Series champion in 2024. The third driver we're talking about from Joe Gibbs Racing is Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. once again will be back in the number 19 car for JGR in 2024. Now, Martin Truex Jr. had a Jekyll and Hyde season in 2023. He started the year off not as good, only I think having a couple top 5s, but really from about the 9th or 10th race of the season up until about the 25th or 26th race, Martin Truex Jr. was the fastest driver of the season. He scored 3 wins in that time and was really, really good. However, near the end of this year, Mark Truex Jr. completely fell off a cliff. He did not have a really good end of 2023. I think he only scored 1 or 2 top 10s in the final 11 races of the season and failed to score a top 5 finish, I believe, in the final 11 races of the year. Now, going into 2024, Mark Truex Jr. once again will be working with James Small. Now, James Small, I don't think was the full problem for Mark Truex Jr. I think that Mark made some mistakes on his own. I think his whole team just collapsed in general. So, unlike the other drivers, I think there's a lot of worry surrounding Martin Truex Jr. I give some vibes of what happened from 2008 to 2009. Remember, 2008, both Kyle Busch and Dale Jr. were championship threats and contenders for a majority of the season, but in 2009, both those drivers failed to make the playoffs. And I don't know if Mark Truex Jr. is going to do that in 2024. In addition to that, one thing to keep your eyes out on when it comes to Mark Truex Jr. is if he will retire at the end of 2024 or not. Over the course of the last 2 years, Mark Truex Jr. has been holding off if he was going to retire. We all thought he'd retire at the end of 2022. He held off to come back in 2023. With how well time he was performing, he announced at the Michigan weekend that he would be coming back for the next year. I think there's a really good chance and possibility that 2024 could be the final year for Mark Truex Jr. But if he does end up performing better than I think he's going to, he may end up coming back. But if I want to be perfectly honest, I just don't know if Mark Truex Jr. is going to be racing past 2024. But we will be back in the 19 car, and he'll be looking to win his second championship and his first championship since 2017, which of course would be his second NASCAR Cup Series championship. I think he's got a really good opportunity shot to get it done in 2024. The final driver we're talking about from Joe Gibbs Racing and 2024 is Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs once again will be back in the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2024. Now, Ty Gibbs did not win a race and make the playoffs in 2023, but for a rookie, he did put up some pretty good numbers. I think he got 8 or 9 top 10s, and I think got 3 or 4 top 5s. What's really crazy about this is the fact that a lot of those top 5s and top 10s came in the second half of this year. As the year progressed in 2023, Ty Gibbs became one of the top 12 or 13 fastest drivers throughout the end of the year, and he qualified extremely well near the end of this season. Now, once again, in 2024, he'll be working with Chris Gale. Chris Gale worked in the NASCAR Xfinity Series when Ty Gibbs, of course, won the 2022 NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship. And I think going into 2024, Chris Gale will be trying to help Ty Gibbs out. I think Ty Gibbs is someone who's going to impress a lot of people. I think he's going to have a really big year, and I think this could be a pretty big breakout year for Ty Gibbs going into 2024. I'm not expecting him to be a championship threat and contender, but I think he will make the playoffs in 2024, which I think is the ultimate goal for Ty Gibbs anyways, and I think Ty Gibbs will get his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory in 2024. I'm looking at a track like Pocono, perhaps, maybe potentially a road course. He was really strong on the road courses really from the start of the year. He was pretty good on the road courses. I would imagine he is going to be a threat there, and he may also be good on the mile and a half, considering Joe Gibbs Racing was really strong at the mile and a half, and the Toyota Camp in general was really, really good on the mile and a half tracks throughout the 2023 season. So I expect this team to be really, really good, and Ty Gibbs, I think, is going to impress a lot of people throughout 2024. And for the most part this year, really probably till the end of the year, Ty Gibbs showed a lot of maturity and was someone that really wasn't getting into issues, which of course he had a lot of issues after 2022 going into the 2023 season. He was able to clean up his act quite a bit out on the racetrack, and I think that's a huge reason why his performance definitely got better throughout the year. And like I said, I think Ty Gibbs is going to have overall a pretty good year going into the 2024 season. I think he for sure will pick up his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory. And I expect this year for the 54 team to be pretty good. And Ty Gibbs maybe be the most improved driver and will make the playoffs, in my opinion, in 2024. I expect this to be a pretty good year for Ty Gibbs. Overall, when I look at Joe Gibbs Racing, this team is set up for a really solid future. Denny Hamlin and Christopher both were championship threats and contenders for pretty much the whole entire season. Mark Truex Jr., I think I'm a little worried about going to 2024. And then I think that Ty Gibbs, like I said, will have a pretty solid year. Obviously, I think the only driver that may be out of Joe Gibbs Racing at the end of 2024 is Mark Truex Jr. if he does decide to retire or not. But of course, we know Mark Truex Jr. is going to be sticking around. Obviously, I think that could lead John Hunter eventually moving over to this organization in 2025. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So, that is going to be it for the 2024 Joe Gibbs Racing Team Preview. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Links goes below that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. What are your expectations for Joe Gibbs Racing heading into the 2024 season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There may be a second video up on the channel later today, depending on how big the RFK Racing announcement is. Then tomorrow on the channel, there will be a Legacy Motor Club team preview dropping on the channel. And then on Friday, there will be NASCAR news video dropping on the channel. And then, of course, a lot of other great content dropping on the channel over the course of the next few days. As we get closer to Christmas time, there's a lot of big news stories breaking over the course of the next 2 weeks. Then make sure to check out the channel as we get closer to the end of the year. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.